Morning, everybody. In one of my previous videos, somebody asked me if I could tell them a little bit more about myself. They were a new subscriber, and I'm assuming they didn't understand the premise of my videos that I post on YouTube. So here goes. Hi everyone, my name is Shanna-Kay. I am a Jamaican registered nurse working in the United States at this time. I am originally from deep rural St. Anne, a small community on the border of St. Anne and Trelawney called Retreat. I was raised in Retreat for all of my formative years, and then I moved to Brownstown, which would be like the town area of that community, and then I moved into Kingston to study nursing thereafter. I spent all of my formative and into my adult years in Jamaica. I only left Jamaica at the age of 25, and I'm in my 30s now. I am still through and through 100% Jamaican. Because of the circumstance of trying to afford myself greater opportunities and to lead a better life, I made the decision to leave Jamaica in the 2010s years. I lived in Bermuda for 8 years, and then I decided to move over to America because I think I needed to expand myself a little bit more. Zine? That is me. Now let's bring it back. I am 100% Jamaican through and through. Jamaican from both sides, Jamaican for generations back on both sides. I spent the last week anxious, sent up my blood pressure, pulse rate on a high, because I watched a hurricane. Regardless if one think it was of natural or man-made causes, I watched a Category 5 hurricane directly hit my country. I couldn't take the day off from work. I spent the day, the 12 hours in the operating room, hiding behind corners, trying to reach out to all of my friends and family, relatives, extended people that I know, just trying to find out what is happening, are you okay? Until many of them lost power and I lost contact. And today, Thursday, October 30th, 2 days after the hurricane, I still have relatives that I'm unable to hear from. The community that I grew up in, Retreat, my homestead there has lost its roof. The only caveat to it being an okay feeling for me to it not having a roof is that nobody really lives there anymore. I have one uncle, I think he goes and comes. I don't think he was there at the time when it lost its roof. But all of my memories and childhood are probably now wet and filled with dirt and filled with tree trunks and probably macerating and rotting as we speak. And even as I say all of this, I never had it bad. For the family members that I've been able to contact so far, we never had it bad. Because in the grand scheme of being directly hit by a Category 5 hurricane, and the most I can say is that I lost my roof, I am telling you that I'm 90% more blessed than the people who live in St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James and Trelawney. Those parishes were the very worst hit, and we're going to bring in Clarendon as well. We in St. Anne missed the Category 5 nature by the hair on our chin, because by the time it started moving overland, as hurricanes usually do, it downgraded to a Category 4. And for most people who have never experienced a hurricane, thinking that a downgrade from a Category 5 to a Category 4 makes us, a little bit lucky, not understand that the damage was so widespread that we don't even know the amount of people who have lost their lives 2 days later. Right? We don't know. I think yesterday they found 4 bodies in Black River. We don't have tallies for Westmoreland yet because a lot of the areas in Westmoreland are impassable. In Black River, Trelawney, St. James, a lot of areas there is no access to because there are boulders and trees, land slippage, roads breaking away, flooding still happening in those areas. People have lost their homes, people have lost their lives, people have lost their livelihoods. We spent the most of the hurricane in the United States. For those of us who were watching, we watched the American media enter our country and almost made a Category 5 direct hit that is going to affect a 400 square mile country with 3 million people on it and treat it as though it was a spectacle. We watched them pretend as though it was the days of the Roman when everybody was going to the Colosseum because we were so excited to watch a lion eat a human being. We watched them talk about how our country was going to be decimated. Jamaica was going to be no more. It's only going to be a flat land. It's going to be unrecognizable. We watched them go into communities and seek out the most vulnerable of people to speak to. People who are going to create the kind of drama that they want. And allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly for this because I wasn't there, I'm not able to prove it, but allegedly, they rented an Airbnb in St. Anne to stay while they storm watched and then video same Airbnb after the storm with all of the windows broken in an outward fashion, even though we know the wind speeds were coming from the opposite direction, which only led a lot of people to believe that these people literally opened the doors and windows and let the wind in to destroy somebody's Airbnb, possibly destroying their livelihood. Because a lot of us who live away from Jamaica, we have plans to go back, but we have to do forward planning. So a lot of us own property there and use this property to make a little money so we can have a little bit on the back end if we have to go back to our country for whatever reason. Because for those of us who live in this United States, we know any bell can toll at any minute, and when the freezer people them show up at your door and say you need to go back, you need to go back. So a lot of us have started forward planning in mind to say that, well, if them tell me something I have to go back, at least I have a property to go back to, and maybe I have like a change in the bank. And they come into our space, and just like they normally do, they destroy it. And then set the narrative to make it seem like we are these poorly impoverished people with nothing. We live in shacks. We have no road. If Sandy Gully Bridge breaks down, there will be no way for anybody to get to the airport. If the rivers, overflood their banks, all of us are going to die. Now, understandably, this is cause for concern. It's not as though we were playing about this hurricane. And might I add, for all the people commenting about the Jamaicans who were dancing while the hurricane approached, let me explain something to you. Stop employing cognitive dissonance to believe that the way that people choose to deal with trauma innately makes them bad people. In these United States, when people are going through trauma, they hum, they sing, they seek music or church, whatever works for them. The people in Jamaica are doing the exact same thing through the music that they know and love, heightening their spirits, spiking their dopamine and serotonin levels so that they can deal with the trauma that is approaching. We don't always deal with trauma and depressive incidents the same way. Understand that. Okay? So now, we are in the height of the storm. We watch every area get flooded. We watch roads breaking away. We watch people having to be rescued from rooftops. We watch people 2 days later saying, I really don't have anything because even the food that I spent my last money to buy was washed away because when the floodwaters came in, I couldn't think to save the food. I had to save myself and my family, my children, my disabled grandmother, my disabled grandfather. We knew it was going to be a struggle. Hurricanes in the Caribbean are not a new thing. While this might have been the strongest to note for us, for our generation, and even the generations before, because when Gilbert hit at a category 3/4, Melissa hit at a category 5. So in known history for Jamaica, this is our strongest hurricane hit yet. But we do have contingency measures in place when hurricanes are going to hit. Our houses are built with cement and steel and reinforced so that when hurricanes hit, we can have a stable foundation left, even if we have to fix back the roof. And while the road conditions are such that they're not always the best and we're prone to land slippage and all of that because of some of the building codes, we understand the premise of what a hurricane brings with it. Almost immediately after the hurricane passed, the recovery efforts started. The Prime Minister was on the road, the members of Parliament and the councils were on the road. Even average Jamaicans gave up their day to start helping their neighbors. Volunteers flooding in from everywhere. People in America and the UK and Canada are just waiting to hear that the ports are open so they can either send stuff in or fly in to help. I am one of said people. I cannot leave the United States just yet because of contingencies with my job, but I'm a nurse. And as soon as I'm able to do so, I will be going to my country to help if it's even for a few days. Because that's the spirit and the resilience of the Jamaican people. That is who we are. We will dance in the face of a storm because we know when the storm leaves, we are coming out to protect and help each other. No matter how you hear these bad stories about Jamaica, we are our brother's keeper through and through. We have shown that to people all the time. Even when we get emotional and one thing, we badmind each other. For the most part, Jamaica, we are our brother's keeper. From any part of the world that we're in, from we hear Jamaica, we ears perk up because what did you just say about my country? And I need to go research this and I need to see how I can help. Very importantly, I would like to say this. If you decide to help, I am going to post the name of the organization where your donations... I'm sorry guys, I'm getting messages and I don't want to interrupt the video. But I'm going to be showing you where your donations should go. And I'm going to post the website link right here. Well, probably not a link, but this is the website. supportjamaica.gov.jm. For God's sake, do not send your money to the Red Cross. If you're going to be sending money to Food for the Poor, make sure it's the Jamaican branch. Do not send your money to the Red Cross. We have seen the amount of money that they have gotten for Haiti and gotten for hurricane relief, and you have known for a fact that these countries don't benefit. By the time they finish paying all their administrative fees, allegedly, no money is left to do any underground work. Furthermore, let me say this. If you know a Jamaican, Zelle them Western, oh no, Zelle is not there, Western Union them some money. Your $100 that you Western Union to a Jamaica is likely to reach in their hands more so than giving it through an organization. Also, there are a lot of supermarkets and hardware stores and people who are entrepreneurs and gainfully employed people who will be helping on the ground. You can use your international credit card or debit card through any multi-link service in Jamaica. So if you want to donate 3-piece supply board, you can probably just go straight to Rapid True Value website and do it, or call them. I have called companies in Jamaica and bought stuff before. Charge it to your credit card so you don't have to be disputing anything at the end of the day. Help on the ground. There are many supermarkets in Jamaica. By the time you pack a barrel and put it through customs, the cost that you pay, it might would have made sense you just purchase the stuff in Jamaica anyway. But at this time, Jamaicans need your help. If it's food, if it's clothing, if it's anything to provide them with a little bit of shelter, an air mattress, a blanket, the compressed mattresses that come in the boxes, anything that you can offer my people to help, please do so. A lot of us have bad experiences from our past, but we also know that Jamaica provided us with our most formative years. The mere fact that we can be on the world stage being who we are, fearless to a fault, is because we are Jamaicans. It's because of how we were raised. It's because we saw what we could do with very little. And so when we come into a lot, we are not fazed, we're not frightened. There is nobody like a Jamaican. Nobody in this world can compare. And so at this time, if we can help our countrymen, we should. It makes no sense we argue or complain or fight with the powers that be, but seek to help from a grassroots place. See if you can support in the island versus trying to send stuff to the island. Help the man in the country and not the organization that thinks they're going to help them. Do not send your money through church groups. Do not send your money through these organizations that are not for profit, that are writing off your donations via taxes, and the country never sees a dime of that money. Please, I beg of you. My final issue I want to address is this. I know a lot of people probably have seen on social media where there are a lot of visitors who are discontent about the service that they have received in Jamaica while the country is going through what was probably the worst disaster they've ever had to face. People were talking about the fact that they only got pastries for breakfast. People was talking about they only got a pouch of cereal, ramen soup, apples, and they were paying for a 5-star experience and they didn't get it. So let me say this with my very big chest. Melissa was a slow moving hurricane. You hear how I said that? It was 10 days before the hurricane that we started getting wind that it might turn towards Jamaica. You could have cancelled your vacation then. If you had travel insurance, then you get your money back. That's why you get travel insurance. You decided not to, but to go anyway. But because a lot of people knows that negative content sell, they were probably just going to use it to their benefit anyways. And even in the face of us highlighting these negativity, they know negative publicity sells. So they're literally reveling in the fact that they can speak to the hotel workers as though they're trash. And y'all knew this hurricane were coming, so why didn't y'all prepare? I need a steak dinner. Why am I getting salad with no salad dressing? And why am I getting jerk chicken and bread? Where is the festival? In a time when probably 500,000 people a few miles south to you are starving. First thing, these hotels are not even owned by Jamaicans. Jamaicans just work there. And the mere fact that we've been able to be touted on the world stage so well is because we offer you great service. Even in the face of all of the disrespect that is meted out to us by these tourists, we still wake up every day with a bid to offer good service. And when you decided not to cancel your vacation, and when you decided not to take a flight home wherever you could go to the nearest point to get you home, and when you decided to stay until the ports were closed and airports were sold out, and you probably couldn't afford a flight because the last couple of flights leaving were probably over $1,000 because we know how price gouging goes, you stayed put at the hotel. And when the hotel now says to you, because you're overstaying, I have to overcharge, I have to still charge you for staying because you're going to be using our light, water, internet, and we still have to provide for you even though you're here. You now say, this is not 5-star treatment. This is not what I expected from an all-inclusive. Please stop employing cognitive dissonance to believe that you're so entitled in the time of a storm. Because even the king and the queen would know that they would have to make allowances at this time. We were not going to be serving you these meals forever. But my countrymen were trying their best at this time to make sure that you were safe and you were warm and you were dry and you were not hungry. A little thank you would suffice. I watch people arguing about how I need you to come and clean my room right now. I watch the chefs at these hotels walking around and literally serving people while their family at home is probably washing away. the entertainment people, the floor staff, the concierge, everybody banded together to say, we have 500 tourists left who couldn't get out, let us help them. And they were meted with the most demeaning and disrespectful behavior ever. I don't want to get emotional. I just want to say this. For future reference, for all people who are visiting Jamaica who have never been there before, while the summer period is one of the hottest and happiest and the best times for you to visit, the hurricane season begins January 1 to November 30th. Sometimes we get a few little storms in May, and sometimes it might extend a little bit beyond November. But if you don't know, now you know. So if you're planning a trip to Jamaica or the Caribbean, and it is during that period of time, the likelihood that a hurricane might occur is very high. And you also want to ensure that you get travel insurance. So if you need to cancel your trip or leave the island quickly, you have contingency measures in place. Just as how we have to prepare for a hurricane, when you decide to go to these areas that you consider to be, exotic tropical islands, you also need to prepare yourself for what might be as well. I would like to say I hope it doesn't dissuade you from coming back, but based on your behavior, I really hope you don't. I understand that my country needs the tourist dollars, but we don't need your behavior. We have a lot to deal with. And in the aftermath of everything, I watch Caucasian people helping on the ground to clean up, and the only memories I have of Black Americans who are our kinfolk is them arguing and quarreling with us. You're not taking it up with the people who own the hotels, you're taking it out on the people who are actually helping you at said hotels. And it breaks my heart and it breaks my spirit. Same ship, different drop-off locations. 17th century, 18th century, 19th century, same ship, different drop-off locations. And we know we wouldn't get this treatment from you in your country. We know we wouldn't. And then you come out here and treat us as though we're less than you. That sucks. But that's more a reflection of who you are. And the workers who are able to stand and, employ maturity and decency, I applaud you. I applaud all the people who are working. I applaud all the people who have stayed put. I applaud all the people who show up even in the face of a Category 5 storm to help other people, not themselves and not their families. And that is why Jamaica will always be one of the best places on earth, bar none. You can never take that away from us. You can never take that away from us. Anyways, guys, happy Thursday. I still am going to try now to see how best I can get through to the other family members that I've not heard from before. If you are a subscriber, you can feel free to drop a comment in the comment below to say where you're from and who your relatives are, and maybe other people might be able to respond to help you. Please also like, share, and comment, subscribe as well to my YouTube videos. I would like to, send my very good wishes out to Jamaica struggling, and just please know that as soon as I'm able to come, first flight out of these United States I can get on, I will be there. I love my country, man, and this is just breaking my heart. But anyways, guys, happy Thursday, all right?